Wow. I didn't know that whirlpools existed in the ocean. That's a scary thought. I don't think I'll ever go into the ocean again. Yeah, I said it. Ocean whirlpools. Apparently, they're a real thing. In fact, one of these puppies is bigger than the state of Tasmania. So, how do they form? And can they swallow up whole ships?
Whirlpools are almost something out of like sailors' tales from like the 1700s. Like you imagine, pictures of a whirlpool in a ship and like a giant squid. It almost feels like that. You can come up next to these in a boat and the water is just circulating so powerfully. Just the actual power of it is just so impressive.
Growing up as a saltwater traditional person, we're told, pretty much don't travel over the Straits spring tide because the whirlpool, is more active. It sort of like, comes alive sort of thing. The tides are very dangerous. There's like a pull,
Let's take a closer look at the physics. The swirling motion is sucking the water towards the center and down. It's kind of like a tornado, but a whirlpool has a downdraft rather than an up. The column of air forms because the vortex is rotating the quickest in the middle.
So the whirlpool we see in very coastal area where there's very strong current from the tide, it's really the tide that is the main factor and the geometry of the place.
Tides move water up and down, while currents send it side to side.
And because they're very strong and have this high velocity, they're going to create turbulent flow, and that's when those whirlpools are generated. And those ones can be 10 times faster than a large-scale ocean circulation pattern.
Ocean whirlpools kind of like toilets? Is the spinning direction different in different hemispheres?
The thing that we're saying is responsible for these rotating in different directions is the Coriolis force, or the Coriolis effect.
The Coriolis effect happens because the Earth rotates faster at the equator than its poles.
But on a really small scale, that effect is not measurable. So if your water is actually rotating a different way in a different hemisphere, it's got to do with the geometry of your bathtub, and that's it.
Okay, cool.
But it's not surprising that on a much, much larger scale, when you're talking about these huge whirlpools or hurricanes or these big, huge masses of air and fluid and gas and everything, they will feel the Coriolis effect.
Large Aussie whirlpools rotate clockwise, but it's the opposite in the northern hemisphere. How powerful can they get?
You can have 10 to 20 kilometers per hour of speed of water swirling around in a whirlpool.
Wow, okay, wow.
I don't know any cases where boats have been sunk by whirlpool. However, it's always a dangerous place to be.
But I mean, you never say never. The world is an interesting place.